Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. Really excited for today's video. Beer's courtesy of Steven. Thanks so much, Steven. I really appreciate it. It's another Fox Farm Brewery beer. Their stuff's been amazing, so I'm really excited for this. It's called Near and Far. It's a double IPA, and it's with white grapes, 8.2% ABV. I'm wondering if the white grapes were added because they're using Nelson and they're trying to up that white grape, white wine thing, or if they just like that note but didn't want to use Nelson, or I don't know, or just wanted to throw it in there and it has nothing to do with Nelson at all. That's only my mind that went there. Anyway, let's get into it. Such clean labels, I love them. Yeah, I mean, it's got that burnt orange color, a little bit more just orange on the outside, a little bit yellow mixed in, but basically what I've been saying about a lot of these hazy IPAs lately, almost exactly a finger of white head, small bubble, tiny bubbles, small bubbles, some medium-sized bubbles actually. I mean, it looks gorgeous. That's a beautiful looking beer. Let's get into the aroma. I actually get a lot of grapefruit, interestingly. Then there's a nice sweetness, and then there's this orange, so it's, I'm getting orange and lemon as well, so maybe, not that those things combined exactly equates grapefruit, but it kind of can, get you pretty close to grapefruit. There's actually a lot going on in this. I get a nice, pretty soft berry note. That's ripe, though. I get some of that grapey thing, and it's not super white winey like I get with Nelson, so maybe it doesn't have Nelson, maybe it does, I'm just not getting it. Now I'm getting more and more of that sweet grape juice, but it really is cutting with that initial grapefruit thing. I love this smell. Let's get into the taste. Cheers. Thanks again, Steven. I really appreciate it, man. This is delicious. Nice mouthfeel. It's creamy. Then there's a little hoppy, bittery prickliness that kind of commands your attention. It does have that. I'm glad I talked about a lot of citrus, because to me, this is where someone says it's citrusy. And yeah, it'd be nice if they broke it down more, but it actually kind of makes sense because I am getting that orange specific, and I'm getting juice and zest and the pith, some of that lemon, some of that grapefruit. So it is super citrusy that way. But fighting through that, the prickliness, the bitterness, those citrus things, is some sweetness, I think, from the base beer, and maybe the specifically white grapes. It just says white grapes. It doesn't say white grape juice. But I am getting, so maybe the sweetness is just coming from I was thinking maybe some of that sweetness was from the grape juice, but I don't know how much it was juiced versus maybe they were just cut in half or just, smashed so they would open up a little bit to use, or what. Trying to get some of the, yeast off of the grapes. I don't know how they used them. Now that I actually read the can more carefully and pay attention to it. All of that being said, the point I was getting towards is it's not super grapey. I don't know, you hear an adjunct, right? So then sometimes you wonder, how much is it going to dominate? And it does not take over this beer, but there is, I don't know, man, that citrus for me is what is the star of the show. There's a little soft herbaceous, I shouldn't say soft, there's an herbaceous note. Could be because I had some basil on top of my spaghetti for dinner, so maybe I'm just kind of thinking of that thing, but kind of get a little bit of an herbaceous note. I love the bitterness that comes in. It's, I don't know, it's just really nice. The level it's at is hitting me in the right spot, at least at this time. I mean, maybe if I had this beer tomorrow, I'd feel differently, but like kind of how this is drinking for what I want. That bitterness is the perfect level. There is that sweetness. And again, I'm sorry, white grapes, but like the citrus thing is what's crushing it for me. And speaking of crushing, I could crush it for 8.2%. You could crush this beer. I'm finally getting some white wine note. It was where I was getting that prickly bitterness. That has finally been able to cut, maybe because my palate got used to that sensation. Now I am getting that note in the second half of the sip. So it's adding a nice layer to it. It's, again, I really like this beer. It's adding complexity. It's not subtracting anything else, that I was enjoying before. It's just another thing. It's quite lovely. I'm getting a little bit of that yeasty thing I get out of, I don't know what yeast they use in their beers, or they might use different yeast depending on the beer or whatever, but it's like that slightly nutty thing I get with, is it the Conan yeast that Treehouse, or not, Alchemist uses? I kind of get a little bit of that. So again, it's another layer that's being added, but not subtracting from anything. Maybe even slightly adding a little bit to my enjoyment, because it's like just another thing to enjoy in the experience, because it doesn't, it's working with it to some degree. It's not 100% complementing, but it's not detracting. Am I wording that well? It's a really good beer. Thanks again, Stephen, man. I really appreciate it. This is delicious. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Have you ever had Fox Farm? Have you had IPAs with white grapes in them? Do you know what that yeasty, nutty thing I'm talking about? Anything, everything related, comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Check me out on Instagram and on Tap. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both of those places. So always please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.